So thanks for receiving these long-winded, drawn-out videos in the manner that you have. You found them really interesting, and I'd like to start with an error to the previous video, the light anti-gas respirator video. I did say the Mark 1 version of that had a kind of flutter valve similar to the civil defence mask. I was totally incorrect. I was thinking about one of these masks, so that's that cleared up. So we'll take a look at these typical British civilian and duty respirators that were common at the time, and we'll have a look at them in order of age groups that they were issued. So we've got the baby anti-gas protective helmet, the small child's respirator, the general civilian respirator, and over there we have the civilian duty respirator. So we'll take a look in order that of age group type of thing. First of all, we have the baby's anti-gas protective helmet with a doll inside. It took me ages to get a proper sized doll to put inside it. The baby's anti-gas protective helmet was issued in 1939 for children aged from birth to 2 years of age. If it got damaged or lost, it cost the person 21 shillings to have it replaced. This had the ability to hold the child in it, offer it not only gas protection but also protection from falling debris, and it also acted as a kind of a cot, as it were. The problem with it was it had to be manually pumped by an adult. The manual that came with it, which is the anti-gas protection of babies and young children, has information on both the kiddies' masks. The protective helmet was adopted after full consideration of all types of possible device which would meet the conditions required of an appliance for use during an air raid with either baby or young child. The helmet consists of a hood made of impervious fabric and fitted with a large window which encloses the head, shoulders and arms, and is closed around the waist by means of a draw tape. A baby, when it is in it, is thus able to get its hand to its mouth. The hood is surrounded by and fastened to a light metal frame which is lengthened on the underside and fitted with an adjustable tailpiece so as to form a support and protection for the baby's back. The tailpiece is turned up at the end to form a seat which prevents the occupant from slipping out of the hood. The baby or child is made secure in the helmet by means of a T-shaped support strap connected to the end of the tailpiece. The metal frame and supporting strap may be varied in length to suit all sizes of babies and children up to about 5 years of age. The hood is padded on the underside where the baby rests. Padding has been omitted from the tailpiece since babies are likely to soil any padding in this position. If required, mothers can supply some washable padding, e.g. a folded towel or napkin, for this part of the frame. Folding legs are provided on the metal frame for use when the helmet is not being carried or held. The legs will prevent the helmet from rolling over if it is laid down with the child in it, and they are for use when a baby is being put into the helmet. Air is supplied to the inside of the hood by means of a rubber bellows placed conveniently for the right hand. The air passes through a container which removes all poison gas from it and enters the hood at the top through a specially shaped orifice which deflects the air upwards so that it sweeps out all vitiated air from the hood and also prevents the stream of air from blowing directly onto the baby's head. A slow and steady rate of pumping of about 40 strokes a minute is adequate for keeping out gas and supplying enough air even for a child of 4 to 5 years of age. The space in the hood is large enough to allow pumping to be stopped for several minutes if required without causing discomfort. There is no limit to the time during which a child may remain in the helmet if the steady pumping is carried out. A baby or child can easily and quickly be put into the helmet, and once inside it can be seen by its mother and either be carried or be seated on the mother's knee in a natural position. For carrying, it is convenient to support the weight by means of a shawl or broad band round the shoulders, and mothers should be encouraged to consider this point for themselves. Most babies and children quite readily take the helmet and soon become accustomed to being inside. In fact, it is common for them to go to sleep. In the case of young children who are rebellious of control, it is possible for one adult quickly to place the child in the helmet and thus protect it from gas in spite of its resistance. Once inside, such children usually cease to resist and appear contented. For instructions on how to use the helmet, see page 6. So now we go on to the instructions. The baby's anti-gas protective helmet. The helmet is suitable for use with a baby or a young child. 1. The baby is laid in the helmet with the seat resting in the turned up end of the metal tailpiece. 2. The tailpiece is fixed to the frame by 2 screws and it can be varied in length to suit the size of the child. The length should be adjusted so that the baby's face is opposite the middle of the window. The screws may be turned by means of a penny. 3. To put the baby in the helmet, proceed as follows. 1. Open the wire legs of the helmet and click them back. 2. Lay the helmet down, open the skirt of the bag and turn the top of it back over the window. See that the supporting piece, i.e. the wide strap attached to the turned up end of the metal tailpiece, is out of the way so the baby will not lie on it. Place the baby in the helmet so that its seat rests on the curve of the tailpiece, with one leg on each side. Then pull down the skirt of the bag over the baby and see that both its arms are up inside the bag. Tie the ends of the draw tape together once and draw the tape tight round the waist. Finish off by tying the ends in a bow. To keep out the gas, it is not necessary to draw the tape around the waist extremely tight, and it must not be tied so that it will cause discomfort. Bring the supporting piece up between the legs and attach the ends of the canvas strap to the buckles on each side of the frame so as to hold the baby firmly in place. When the baby has thus been safely secured in the helmet, commence to use the hand pump. First, give at least 12 sharp strokes on the pump to clear out the air in the helmet, and then continue to pump at a slow and steady rate. A rate of between 35 and 45 strokes in a minute is quite fast enough to keep out all poison gas and to provide plenty of air even for a child of 3 to 4 years of age. An unnecessary fast rate of pumping will prove tiring if kept up for a long time. The space inside the helmet is large enough to provide sufficient air for a child for several minutes, so pumping can safely be stopped for short periods when necessary. Poison gas in an amount which will not do any harm will not enter the helmet during periods when pumping is stopped. So that's the baby's anti-gas helmet, and we'll take a look at it. So we have our little dummy inside. It's got the little window, it's got the top which is protection against items falling on the head. It also provides a handy carry handle. On the back we have this piece. It's kind of 2 pieces. This is the structural piece, this is the base piece. These are the legs that kind of fold out to provide a secure stand. The tailpiece goes under. It's dated 1939 and the instructions are on the back. This appliance is government property. Any person who has it in his possession is responsible in law for using care to keep it in good condition. It is to be returned to the local authority in whose area the possessor may be at any time, either on request or when no longer required in use. At the bottom there we have the maker's mark, 1939, the date on the back, and that's the curved section. So it kind of goes like that, as it were. These are a pain in the arse to store. Dealers don't like them because they're incredibly difficult to post. I paid about a tenner for this. I think they're now still relatively low. They're about £30–40, but you have to be careful because this piece around here suffers from cracking, and they crack really bad. After the war, when they were returned to the government sold the metalwork for scrap, and the hoods were sold as surplus, and dealers used to buy them and sell them to garages for use as spray painters' protective hoods. So you will find an example without the metalwork before you find one complete. One without the metalwork's not really having. The metalwork on its own is not really having. A slurp of tea. So always try and get one that's complete. If you're really lucky, you might find one in the official issue cardboard box, but you'll pay more money for it. So that's the baby's anti-gas helmet for children aged between birth and then 5 years old. So that's that one done. So we'll prop him back up there. We'll have a look at the typical I think of the period. This was issued by the City of Westminster. ARP gas helmets for infants under 2 years, sorry. So I won't read that out. I'll just, if you wish to read it, just freeze frame it and you can go through it. Then the next one, age-wise, is the small child's respirator. Now, it is not and has never been called, in official terms, a Mickey Mouse gas mask. The term Mickey Mouse gas mask refers to the similar American item issued to American children of the same age. The American one actually looks like Mickey Mouse's face and it's sanctioned by Disney. This British one has never been a Mickey Mouse gas mask. It's only called the Mickey Mouse gas mask by collectors and dealers. The official name for this mask is the small child's respirator. This is for children between 2 and 5 years of age. So they would start off in this one, they would progress to this one, then they would go to the adult one, as it's called. So the small child's respirator. These were expensive to produce, and the public were charged 3 shillings and sixpence to replace it. It was so expensive that at the end of the war, the government issued a refund on any one returned to them, which is a reason why they are so rare today. So you'll know exactly what it's like. It's in a cardboard box with a string. This special respirator is for a small child, is government property. Any person who has it in his possession is responsible in law for using care to keep it in good condition. It is to be returned to the local authority in whose area the possessor may be at any time, either on request or when no longer required. And this is what collectors call the Mickey Mouse gas mask, which it actually isn't. It's just a colourful mask to appeal to children. It's easy to put on and it's not easily damaged, although the rubber can suffer over the years. So that's what we call the Mickey Mouse mask, which actually is not a Mickey Mouse gas mask. Originally, it's got this blue filter. We'll get to this added on filter a little bit later on, because a lot of the masks will have this added on filter on the end of it. So that's what we call a Mickey Mouse mask, which isn't. It's the small child's respirator. So it's got the packing of respirator. The respirator should be placed in box with heavy and end container standing on bottom of box. Care must be taken to see that the expiratory outlet valve lies flat against the side of the box without deformation. And then when the respirator is required for use, hold respirator by the harness, put on first by putting chin into face piece, then draw harness overhead, join 3 parts of harness by hook and eye provided. Take off by pulling harness overhead from the back. Do not take respirator off by pulling the container upwards over the face. So that's what we call the Mickey Mouse mask, which isn't. So we'll go back to our little manual again and we'll have a look at the small children's respirator. So we have the protective helmet. The small children's respirator only has instructions for putting on. So that's a bit pointless. Oh, here we are. An attempt has been made in the design of this respirator, the small child's respirator, to make it as acceptable as possible to young children. The colours have been made attractive, nothing to do with Mickey Mouse. It has been made as light in weight as possible. The head harness will not weaken in use. It is soft in its pull on the face piece and is so designed that it prevents the respirator from being easily pulled off. Since a child breathes much less air than an adult, a less bulky and lighter container than that of the ordinary civilian respirator has been included. The rubber of which the face piece is made has been tested on a large number of children and proved to be non-irritant to the skin. And it just goes to say the respirator is put on the same way as the normal mask. Oh, I forgot to show you this. This is the filter of the baby's mask, and you kind of hold that and pump it like that. So that's the small child's respirator, not a Mickey Mouse gas mask. And we'll go on to that filter, additional filter, in a little bit. Next on the agenda is the one that you'll all recognise from car boot sales and jumble sales and junk sales and auctions. It's the general service respirator. Now the general service respirator is the next in line, because after this one the child progressed to that one. The general service respirator was issued to those aged 6 to adult and into old age. And you know what it's like. It's basically your cardboard box with the word top on it, 2 holes for a string, and you're meant to carry it everywhere in the cardboard box. Inside you open it up and you know the type of mask. It's this type of mask. If I can get it out the bleeding box. It's kind of retained within the inner. So you know the other kind, it's that one. You know? So we'll have a little bit of a read up on this one. The General civilian respirator. Manufacture of these started in 1936, and in the first 2 years 30 million were made. It was made mandatory that civilians carried this gas mask at all times, and by a huge propaganda drive it publicised this, as you can see with the kind of poster over there. Hitler will sound no warning, always carry your gas mask. And they were pummeled with leaflets coming through the doors that they had to carry this at all times. The civil defence had regular inspections of respirators, and any found to be deliberately damaged, or if someone didn't produce one on request, a fine of £5 could be placed. To replace an accidentally damaged or lost respirator would cost 2 shillings and sixpence to replace. Now, this is where this additional filter comes into being. In May 1940, a context filter extension was issued to all civilian respirators by the Civil Defence in order to make the existing filter resistant to arsenic gases. So up to a certain point, the filter that already existed, which was this one, I mean, all of these masks apart from that one had this type of filter, including the Civil Defence one, and that was resistant to most gases. But in 1940-41, Porton Down, who was developing these things, found out that there were arsenic gases, and this wouldn't protect against it. So what they did, anybody with one of these masks were told to go to your local Civil Defence office, and the Civil Defence would issue one of these, a context filter. And the context filter, and this is where the tape comes in, the context filter would go on the end of the pre-existing mask. Hopefully I've got that the right way around. Does it go that way around? I think it goes that way around. Does it go that way around? No, it goes the other way around. It goes that way around. It will be added to the already existing mask, and then a piece of tape would tape it together. And that, with that, would combat the gases known then. Fortunately, we didn't need to use them. So that's an example that's got the child's filter, but it's got the additional context filter on the end of it. Sometimes you get these context filters on their own fitted to the end of a ERP mask and sold as a rare telephonist one. It's got the rare short filter on it. That's total bullshit, dreamed up by dealers. That's an additional added extra that goes on them. Does this one have it? This one has it. So if we can get it out, it's been in here for years, this thing has. And as you can see, it's starting to suffer a bit. But this one has it, in that you've got the rubber mask, you've got the band that holds the mask to the filter, and then on the end of that you've got the additional context filter added in 4041 that's held by tape. Now, when you consider they knocked out 30 million of these, it was found that some of these masks could possibly leak in gas in its liquid form through this piece where it's stitched to the rubber. The gas could get through. So you may find some of these masks around here have a thick layer of sealant painted around them. That was something that they did in order to stop any gas from getting under the stitching. The face piece is made of a pliable but fire resistant plastic. Usually these crack over time, and it's only like a 3-piece construction without the context filter. So you've got the rubber, you've got the filter held by a rubber band, and you would think, well, how did they knock out 30 million of these? Well, I shall show you. Or in this one, by the way, this one must have been issued to a factory worker, because we've got a chart of war gases inside of it. Sometimes these are worth getting, even if you've already got one, because the box might have hidden surprises inside. That's got a chart of war gases inside it. Plus it's got your kind of anti-dimming stuff. Plus it has a set of World War II Bakelite ear defenders. Now these were only issued to factory workers, so I'm guessing that the person that had this mask originally was a factory worker. And again, you have under the lid the instructions for use. And so these things are quite interesting. So, because you were expected to carry the cardboard box everywhere, it was susceptible, is that the right word? Susceptible. It was likely that you were going to damage it in either rain, because you were expected to carry it in the rain. So, enterprising individuals, market traders, came up with fancy over boxes, over covers for the boxes, should I say. So, if you still had the cardboard box, you could purchase a cotton container like that to put your cardboard box in, and it was held by a flap, and it would go around the neck. And in there is another one of these things. Or, if you're feeling a little bit flush, you could purchase a leather effect one, outer bag for your gas mask. This is practically buggered. The box has seen better days, it's crushed. But yeah, you could purchase one of them. If you were feeling a little bit more excited but didn't have the box, you could purchase a little outer carrying bag like that in leather effect. If you were feeling a little bit more flush, you could go to a newspaper advert. I think they were advertising Scottish newspapers. This is often sold as a home guard box, but it's actually not. It's just a civilian commercial box for this type of adult gas mask. A couple of shilling will buy you that, made by a metal box factory. The coded MB11 on this, dated 1941. MB was for Metal Box Factory, who made tins and things like that, and the 11 was a code number for wherever in the country it was situated. They also made the outer tins for these. This is coded MB with a different number, and there's probably a list somewhere that gives the 11 as where it is in the country. They didn't want the enemy to know the exact location of these metal box factories, so they just coded them MB whatever. And inside this one, it takes the place of the cardboard box. It's all padded inside, and it's got instructions for the It's got instructions for the respirator on it. So you can buy that for a couple of shilling in newspaper ads. Or if you still had the box and you were feeling really flush, you could buy one of these. A really nice, thicker, leather effect padded box. You've got civilian gas mask on it. The person's initials in gold block. Really nice grained leather effect with all this stitching around it. This must have cost a bit of money. But inside, you've just got your humble mask. You've got this really nice padded interior. And inside, you've just got your own basic mask. This one's split over the years and has been taped up. But look, it just apes the cardboard box. And it's still cardboard underneath all this fancy imitation leatherwork. But that must have cost a bit of money at the time. It's in like a brown grained leather effect. So you could buy one of them if you're feeling a bit flush. So we'll take a look at some of these. You were expected to write your name on them as well. All the boxes are the same type of cardboard box. It's got the word top on it. So if you're particularly stupid, you know which way up it goes. Holes, you were expected to put your name on it. This belonged to somebody at Carlisle. And inside, again, you've got your instructions. Depending on who made the cardboard boxes, because they were farmed out to different companies, you get slight differences in the printing, which adds absolutely no value to it. Inside, you've got the mask. This has got, again, it's got the post-1940-41 context filter on it. Again, you see, context filter. Not a rare airborne filter, I might add. And so, where are we at now? We'll have a look at this one. We'll have a look at this one. Has this one got anything special in it? And like I say, most of these will have the green context filter on it. So all of these masks will have an element of asbestos in the makeup. The only part that has no asbestos is the context filter. That has no asbestos in it. All of these have asbestos in the makeup. So that's the adult mask. So to knock these out in the factory, students were paid to put them together. What's that in the back of there? Oh, here we go. In this one, it's shabby, but in this one, it's still got the person's national registration ID card in Stocksfield, Northumberland. So it belongs to somebody in Northumberland. This one did. Yeah. M.E. Key, Ennerdale, Branch End, Stocksfield, Northumberland. I wonder what happened to that person. And this one, you have your City of Northumberland air raid precautions. A cardboard box will be provided for this. So they must have been issued the respirators before the cardboard boxes, because this is an official ARP piece of card. And it says a cardboard box will be provided for this respirator as soon as possible. Until then, the respirator must be kept in a cool, dry place. On no account must moisture be allowed to reach the contents of the metal container. That's because it's not waterproof. When respirator is required for use, and it just tells you how to put it on. So that must have been issued to somebody in Northumberland ARP. So that's nice to have. So sometimes you get little things. Oh, there's something else in there as well. A little label. Oh, 2 little labels for some strange reason with nothing on them. So yeah, so it's nice to have these little additional extras. And there was a time when every market stall had these for sale. I can clearly remember I bought at least 2 of these on a market stall in Keswick in the Lake District in the 1980s, and I paid like £1 each for them. And you can even buy reproduction cardboard boxes now if yours doesn't have one. So anyhow, they paid, first of all, students to put these masks together, because like I say, it's made of 3 parts: rubber mask, the rubber ring, and the actual filter. But students found it difficult to stretch that over, put it over there, and offer the end of the mask to it to put this over it. So the government, however, how they managed to make 3 million of these things was down to an ingenious little invention, which currently there's one for sale on eBay for nearly £300. I got this for a £5 at a car boot sale many years ago. Is this baby? How about that? This is the official Home Office General Civilian Respirator banding machine. It's a banding machine made of wood with a screw-in handle on the bottom, on the side, and on the bottom. It's got GRV1, King's Crown, 1938, and the address. It's also repeated on the bottom. So what is this? You go like that, and you go like that. That's all it does. It goes like that. So what this is, it's a device that makes it easier to put the band on the mask. And what you do is, it's kind of recessed on this bit of wood. You open it up slightly, you take your rubber band, you put it over there like that. Then what you do is, you stretch it out. Now that should give the diameter for the filter to drop in. So you have to put the filter in with the front of it facing downwards. So you put the filter in facing downwards like that. And then what you do is you hold your rubber mask over it, and then using your fingers rather than stretching it, you can pull this up, and that holds the rubber mask onto the filter via, I've got it trapped in there now, via the I knew I'd do this, via the machine. So you obviously your rubber mask is now trapped under there. So that's a government issued 1938 civilian respirator band stretching machine, or a banding machine, and it was only used with the civilian general service respirator. So we'll get that out of the way, and it's designed to be screwed down onto a table as well, so you can use it one-handed. So we'll get that out of the way. So next on the agenda is usually these filters have a stripe, a coloured stripe down them. Now where's my notes at? All civilian general filters contain asbestos, blah blah blah. The context does not. Sometimes the filters had a coloured ring around them. Green indicates a resin wool was used in the contents. A white ring indicates charcoal is added at a later date. Spectacles could not be worn with that respirator at all. So now we get on to the civilian duty respirator. The civilian duty respirator, which is that one over there, was issued to civil defence, ARP, firemen, ambulance crews. Police were issued with the Army General Service respirator. It was used as the frontline respirator for many civilian organisations, but in 1942 it was replaced in frontline use when all the civil defence units were given the military general service respirator, which had the hose and the box filter. The reason why is the British Army General Service Respirator, which we covered in the last video, which is that thing there, the British General Service Respirator could protect against gas. That respirator with the big box filter could protect against gas 10 times more efficiently than that one could. So that was withdrawn from frontline service in 1942 with the civil defence units, and they were replaced with this one. But the police, rather than being issued with that, were already issued with this version. So we'll have a look at the civilian duty respirator. Now you may notice that although the civilian duty respirator has been modified with the same context edition, it's got a filter with a red band on it. Most of these civilian duty respirators will have the red band on it. That's a spare one with a red band on it, you see. Now the red band indicates it's only for use with the civilian duty respirator. It's not for use with the civilian one, because the red band indicates that the charcoal in this one used in the filter system is better quality than that used in the civilian respirator. So it's down on paper that the filters with the red band must only be used with the civilian duty respirator. And like the military respirator at the time, you've got this additional thing on it for taking a radio mic, like we explained in the other previous videos. So that's the civilian duty respirator. That cost about £2 years ago. This is one, come here. This is one of two that I had in the box. This is the issue cardboard box. Civilian duty respirator, one haversack anti-dim outfit. And again, if you're totally thick, it says top on the top. And inside, again, you've got a really nice civilian duty respirator. Now this has got both a green band and a red band. So the green band, have a look down what the green band says. The green band, gotta put my notes up. So on this one, the green band indicates a resin wool was in the contents. So this one has got resin wool in the contents, plus it's got better quality charcoal as indicated by the red band. This one's dated 41, normal size. Yeah. And inside you've got the issue bag that they originally came in, and the